Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Joseph coming to you again with another educational video. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 steps to understanding alcoholism. Alcohol has been a destructive force since the Noahic flood. Since Noah understood that there had been an atmospherical change, he realized that the fruit of the vine became fermented after the flood. After that particular incident, he found out that he became inebriated when drinking this fermented fruit. That caused his family to split up, along with millions of other families from that point forward, whenever alcohol is consumed on a regular basis. Alcohol has been the destructive force of the family for many, many centuries. And I would like to educate you on what the top 10 steps of understanding alcoholism is. Alcohol has been the #1 cause of teen fatalities on the highways. Alcohol has destroyed many, many, many other lives, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So today I want to give you those top 10 steps of understanding alcoholism. #1, understanding alcoholism is to understand that alcohol addiction is to avoid pain at all costs. Alcoholics believe that hardship, emotional pain, and difficult decisions should not be in their life. They should not be in their life. So alcoholics want to avoid pain at all costs. Remember, that is the very foundation of why they drink. #2, understanding alcoholism is to know that at least 80% of all alcoholics suffer from clinical, genetic, predisposed depression or anxiety. Alcoholics continue to self-medicate with alcohol to help themselves feel better. You see, alcoholics suffer from anxiety and depression. Therefore, they continue to self-medicate with a toxic poison called alcohol. Also, most alcoholics arrogantly refuse to take antidepressants because of the stigma that is involved with it. You know what's really interesting is in my office I see many alcoholics and help them try to recover from alcoholism, and they refuse to take a little teeny antidepressant serotonin reuptake inhibitor instead of drinking. If one drink, ladies and gentlemen, one alcoholic drink is more toxic than probably 5 years of taking an antidepressant. One alcoholic drink is more toxic than taking medication. But yet the alcoholic will drink every single day, religiously and committed, instead of taking an antidepressant. Alcohol causes more depression, while antidepressants fix the depression. You see, alcohol consumption causes the serotonin in your brain, which is called happy juice, to actually drain out much faster than it should, and they become more depressed and more anxious. So we have to understand that 80% or even better of alcoholics, or people that consume alcohol on a regular basis, they have a genetic predisposed depression or anxiety disorder. #3, you want to understand that alcoholism is different from drinking. Drinking is just a symptom of alcoholism. And let me explain that to you. Self-preservation is over and above everything else. That is a alcoholism trait. An alcoholism trait is avoiding pain and conflict at all costs, as I've said in the beginning of this video. Also, you can identify alcoholism even if alcohol is not present. Alcoholism is making everyone around you feel guilty if they are struggling. So the alcoholism, these behaviors need to be removed in order for the alcoholic not to feel like they need to drink again. Also, alcoholism blames everyone else and everything else except themselves. They continue to play the victim. You see, these behaviors all need to change if alcohol is going to be removed. If their need to drink or the recidive rate is going to drop in their life concerning relapse of alcohol. If these behaviors and if the medication for depression or anxiety is not introduced and these behaviors aren't taken care of alcoholism, well, they will relapse. And that's why there's a high relapse rate among alcoholics. Alcoholism continues to find shortcuts in life to circumvent emotional connections. You see, alcoholics get afraid of intimate relationships because intimate relationships can cause pain. So therefore, they would rather drink and avoid intimate relationships or intimate problems with their spouses or with their family members or close friends. They would rather drink to avoid that pain. Or when they drink, they're able to have somewhat of a relationship with them if it's possible. But many times the alcohol causes them to do the complete opposite. Number 4 of understanding alcoholism is to understand that functioning alcoholics can be more dangerous and more damaging than non-functional alcoholics. Now let me say that again. Functional alcoholics are more dangerous in many cases than non-functional. At least a non-functional alcoholic, you know they're drunk. You know they've had too much. You know they need some help. But the functional alcoholic, one who functions every day perfectly fine, but they have to drink in excess every day or even drink every day in order to be okay with themselves, are probably the more dangerous because it goes over an extended period of time and it causes extensive damage from generation to generation. The hard-working laborer who needs their 2 cold beers every day after working in the field or working construction or working in the hot sun, that can be a functioning alcoholic. A functioning alcoholic can look like this. They can be the executive that needs 2 or 3 martinis every day to make the big sale. That's a functioning alcoholic. The housewife who says she needs the 2 glasses of wine every day to wind down after the day, but she drinks that religiously, 2, 3 glasses of wine every day, every evening, in order to wind down. You see, that's a functioning alcoholic. A functioning alcoholic is the soccer mom who says she needs to wind down every day or take the stress off of the day because of the children. And she needs her 2 or 3 drinks of wine or beer or liquor once a day in the evening, but she's functioning well. Those are the most dangerous alcoholics because it's very stealthy and very confusing because of the behavioral change in them over an extended period of time. These particular type of people that are functioning alcoholics do long-term damage to their families without knowing it. Understand that most alcoholics come from a family that is highly susceptible to alcoholism. Some of the behaviors that I just mentioned. 3 or 4 generations either are drinkers or behaviors that mimic these drinking behaviors or alcoholism. Even if there are not any physical drinkers, great-grandfather, all these behaviors can lead to alcoholism. Let me give you an example and other indications of alcoholism. Of course, depression and anxiety in your family tree of your progenitor, of the upline in your family. If there are genetic predispositions of suicide, if there's incarceration in jail, if there's domestic violence or isolation of family aloofness, that's another indication of alcoholism. Mental illness and mood disorders. You see, If you were raised with these behaviors, this is a very strong indication of alcoholism, or the propensity of alcoholic behavior and addictive natures. So I want you to understand that these behaviors, suicides, incarceration, jail, domestic violence, numerous divorces, isolation and aloofness of the family, mental illnesses like mood disorders, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, these can all lead the next generation to be addicted to alcohol, especially if you have a genetic predisposition in your liver to accept alcohol very readily. You know, those people that drink can drink people under the table, and they could drink large amounts of alcohol and still function, are the most apt to be alcoholics. And you have to understand, if you can handle your booze much better than the other person, you need to stop drinking, because that's a sure indication of being an alcoholic or a genetic predisposed alcoholic. Number 6 of understanding of the 10 understanding alcoholism is understand that alcoholics can have numerous other health issues that cause depression for them to drink, such as chronic back pain, sleep apnea, aches and pains in their body for numerous reasons. So alcoholics believe that drinking fixes that, unless, except that all they need to do is go to the doctor. They feel that drinking is the only alternative they have, not medication, not therapy, not going to a doctor and getting the root cause of why they're in pain fixed. And then if they have a genetic high tolerance of alcohol, now they're an alcoholic. Number 7 of the understanding of alcoholism is alcohol is a toxic poison. There's no nutritional value whatsoever or benefit of any kind for you to need alcohol. I know there's a lot of studies that are trying to say, oh, 2 drinks a night, or moderate, in moderation. You don't need alcohol at all. You can drink certain juices. You can drink certain grape juice in order to get those same antioxidants. You do not need alcohol. Alcohol has no nutritional value whatsoever, despite what other people say or the alcohol industry tries to convince you to believe. It causes your brain to lose happy juice, which is, we talked about this earlier, serotonin. It causes your serotonin level to completely drop out. That's why many alcoholics suffer from depression after they stop drinking. It destroys your liver, kidneys, your arterial walls, causing you to have heart disease and other forms of circulatory disorders. And it also destroys nerve cells. So we need to understand that alcohol is a toxic poison. This is why when you are put in the drunk tank after you get a DUI, it's called detox. So we want to understand that alcoholics also have a problem with understanding that there's no nutritional value with alcohol. Number 8, understanding that alcoholics develop an emotional attachment to their drinking and its environment. Now, what does that mean? You see, alcoholics think they lose their close friends and family if they're not drinking. There's some kind of a connection, an emotional connection to drinking. Some people just have this emotional connection of holding and swirling a drink. It sounds a little ironic, but alcoholics feel this emotional kinship to drinking. And also they develop a stigma of work circles. For instance, all the people at work are fun because they're always going out and drinking. And so you don't want to be left out. Feeling empty and out of place during holidays and celebrations. You know, alcoholics that stop drinking and then they relapse, they usually relapse when things are going very good. It's called celebratory relapse. They celebrate their sobriety by drinking. And they feel like, okay, I pat myself on the back. I got through, okay, 2 years of sobriety. Next thing you know, because they're patting themselves on the back, they honestly think that they can start drinking again. That's just like a person with a peanut allergy thinking they can start eating peanuts again or having a Snickers bar after they've not touched peanuts for 2 years. That's crazy, because they're going to go back to drinking even in more excess than before. Number 9, alcoholics continue to find codependents to support their habit so that the codependent can play into their manipulation. This is the biggest problem I see among alcoholics. Alcoholics try to find gullible partners and family members to not question their drinking or to continue to tolerate their drinking. Alcoholics make friends and family members walk on eggshells to support their drinking. Alcoholics cause the codependent to neglect the healthier individuals in the families, such as maybe the healthier siblings or the healthier parents or the healthy people in their life. Those people are usually neglected by the codependent because the codependent is always focused on the alcoholic and his or her issues. So you have to understand, even if you are a parent, I've known many parents that focus on the child that's the trouble child, while the other healthy children are being neglected. This is the same concept with the alcoholic. And number 10, and the last step that I put in this video concerning how to understand alcoholism is misunderstanding of God. Now let me share this with you. This is a big problem among alcoholics. You see, alcoholics want God to magically take their pain away without experiencing pain. We think that God is what I call rabbit foot religion. That means you can call upon God and he will be the magical fix, that he's going to take the booze away. All of a sudden, all your problems are going to be resolved. And if God doesn't do that, that means he's just going to drink or she's just going to drink again because God's not listening to them. Alcoholics see God as an enabling codependent like their earthly codependent partners. And let me tell you, God is not going to take your alcohol away from you. He's not going to take the desire away from you. And no matter how much you pray and plead for him to take that away with no pain, guess what? It's not going to happen. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of critics of this video of Christians, which I am, that are going to say, well, that's baloney because I know so-and-so that God all of a sudden took the desire away. No, they took the desire away. God gave them the ability to do that, but they need to choose to do that. People that stay sober, people that get their life fixed, people that learn what the root causes are of their emotional pain and their physical pain, and they go through the pain of getting that fixed, that's true faith. But to believe, see, there's a difference of wishful thinking and true faith. To believe God that he's going to take you through the pain takes more faith. But it takes less faith, and it's only wishful thinking. If you think that it's magically going to happen and God's going to come down and knock the bottle out of your hand and all of a sudden take all your pain away that's causing you to drink and all of a sudden take the desire to drink away. It's not going to happen. And in almost 30 years of me counseling alcoholics and working in hospital environments with alcoholics and addictive people, I've never seen that happen. Truly have never seen that happen. I know you're going to say, oh, I have this testimony and that testimony, but it's probably only for a short period of time. So Misunderstanding God is a big problem with alcoholics. Alcoholics expect God to serve them and their pain, not them serve God. And that's the problem of relapsing alcoholics. I just gave you the top 10 steps to understanding alcoholism. If you have any questions, please give me a call here at the Well, or order my book by going to my website, atthewell.net. That's www.atthewell.net. If you contact me, you can counsel with me either via Skype from anywhere in the United States, or you can counsel even by phone if you're not in the local area. I want to encourage you, if you enjoyed this video, for you to support At the Well Ministry. Go to atthewell.net. That's www.atthewell.net. It's on the screen. And I would love for you to donate any amount to support this ministry that is helping people remove the struggle of alcoholism. God bless you and have a wonderful day.